All right, welcome back. This is Dr. Eric Roden, physical therapist at Neurology Solutions. This is Lorna, physical therapy assistant, helping me out today being the demo as I narrate through this routine. So this is a advanced core routine. So don't take this one lightly. I highly recommend you go over this with your trainer or physical therapist if you are going to be attempting. If you've already gone through these movements with them and you already know them, you're welcome to go through it with us. It's a great program. It's relatively comprehensive, both at isometrics, in biasing extension, as well as a little bit of flexion. So let's begin. We are going to start with the front plank. Now there's a lot of variations of the front plank, a lot of add-ons you can do. We're going to do a straight isometric front plank. Now Lauren is going to be starting in the kneeling position here. Hands up, basically on her wrists. Now if that is painful for you, or you don't have the range, you can easily go down to your elbows as well. And again, she is on her knees, which is a little less intense. The full version would be up, propped up onto your feet, again, on your elbows or up onto your hands, depending on what your tolerance is. Now we're going to be attempting these for 15 seconds. She's about there. All right, come on down. She's going to take a little breather. So ideally you were doing that through the whole time I was explaining. We're going to go back into it again here. She's going to prop up. So pick your poison as far as which one works well for you. It should not be easy, but it should be unbearable. Now Lorna is counting for herself right now. We're going to do, again, 15 seconds. I do recommend that you count out loud if possible, because it definitely helps with the breathing. All right, you guys are doing great. Very challenging. We should be feeling those in the abs. We might feel it in the glutes, definitely the shoulders. We are now going to move on to a side plank. So probably one of my favorite exercises for engaging what's called your transverse abdominis, one of those deep core muscles. So Lorna, again, you can do it either on your hand or on your elbow. She's going to do the version on her elbow and on her knees. So you're going to lay in a nice, basically flat line there, trying to have your head, your shoulders, and your hips and knees in a straight line. And she's going to be lifting up her core, basically lifting up that hip on the left side. And she's feeling a lot of it in the side area there. She's breathing. Now you can do multiple on one side. I recommend flip-flopping just purely for fatigue. Otherwise it's going to be a little painful, might be a little too tiring. She's going to show version 2. Much more challenging, a lot more balance and stability through the shoulder involved. Very difficult to do, but such a great exercise for core stabilization as well as shoulder stabilization. But again, consult with your therapist or trainer before doing these. Excellent. All right, she's going to move to the other side. She's going back down on that elbow. You can see she's trying to get nice and aligned. So a lot of people will kind of jackknife, they'll make a V movement, and that's basically your body trying to compensate. You're trying to cheat with kicking in a little bit more of your flexor muscles, or you might rotate down, and that's basically you kicking in some of your internal rotators of the shoulder or the hips compared to working just those pure side muscles of the body. So a very critical area in the body that tends to like to get weak on us. So I highly recommend you work on these. These are some of my favorite exercises as far as keeping you strong, and really translates a lot to everyday life as far as your walking ability, turning over, getting up, balance. You know, really is universal as far as its benefits. So definitely something to try. Excellent. All right, we are now going to move on to basically the bird dog. We've done this in another series in our quadruped, but it's such a great exercise, we're going to be doing it again. It gets definitely that whole posterior chain kind of biases what we call extension, which is definitely a problem in the Parkinson's population or general aging population with poor posture. So we're going to go into that basically tabletop position that she's in. She's going to lift her left arm and right leg simultaneously, trying to make a nice straight line. So we don't want any rotation in the hips, any in the head. We're trying to make that nice straight line with the body and the spine. She's going to come back down and switch sides. And we're going to do this for about 3 seconds each side, and we're going to come back in. And we're going to go back to the other side. You can count it out a quick 3. 1, 2, 3. Come back down, switch. 1, 2, 3. Back down again. 1, 2, 3. Back down. We're going to do 5 each here. Up. 1, 2, 3. We got 2 more. You're doing great. 1, 2, 3. Same to the other. 1, 2, 3. Last one, we're going to bring it up and hold, hold, hold. So this is a burnout, so you're going kind of as long as possible. We're going to have a little break here just because, well, for the sake of time, Lorna could go here for a while. She's going to come back down and we're going to switch. So you just go as long as possible on that last one. Really hold out. Try to work that endurance as long as you can. And we're going to come back down. Excellent work. We are now going to move over into what they're called Flutter Kick. So we're going now on our backs. If you need a pillow, that's totally fine. Some type of neck support. I prefer not, because again, we are trying to open that body up, work that extension. Now if you notice, Lorna put her hands behind her low back. That's kind of a tactile cue for her to make sure that she's engaging her stomach properly. So what she's going to do is she's actually going to try to push her low back slightly into her hands, and she's going to feel a little bit of that pressure. Once she does that, she's going to lift her legs up off the floor about 6 to 12 inches, and she's going to do basically flutters, almost like if you were in the water and you're doing a flutter kick when you're doing freestyle. Now she is attempting to breathe. This is a very difficult move. You're putting a lot of tension on that stomach, those long legs. It's a big, big lever arm. And she's going to take a break. Whew. All right, we're going to do that 3 times. So we're going to come up again, and she's going to flutter. Now there's a lot of variations of the flutter kick, so she can do this one. There's also scissoring, where you actually cross your legs. And now there's also kind of the basically going out, so the abduction, where you're just kind of making Y, in and out. You can even do the bicycle version. And she's definitely getting tired, so we're going to let her have a break. Excellent. So take that little breather again. We got our last set. We'll go back to the classic flutter. Engage that stomach, push down in those hands, and lift, and little flutters. Again, they don't have to be very robust. They can be small. The key is in making sure that you keep that core engaged the whole time. And come back down. Whew, not an easy task at all, okay? She's definitely feeling the burn there. All right, we are going to move on to our last 2 movements. This is basically called the ball pass-through. So she's going to grab that big ball. Now, if you do not have a big ball, don't stress about it, okay? You could pass a towel, a smaller ball. You don't have to pass anything. It's just a pillow. It makes it really easy. It really, it's the movement quality that we're looking for. So she's going to start in this, what's called a hook line position, with her knees bent, hands on the ball, touching the knees. She's basically going to stretch all the way out. Everything's going to come apart. She's going to come back together and pass the ball to the legs and repeat the same movement, but now with the ball in her feet, and come back middle again. And we're going to trade. She's definitely feeling that. Now again, she's bent the knees on that one. You could also go flat again. It really is up to you as far as the intensity. The more your knees are bent, the easier it is. The straighter you are during these movements, the harder it is, because that exponentially increases your lever arms. And we're going to do 5 of these to really make Lauren have a good workout here. Now you could technically count 1 and 1 based on having it in your hands, based on having your feet. We're not going to torture Lorna with that too bad, so that's going to be 5 here. Now you're more than welcome to do more than that. But if you're doing this whole routine together, this is a pretty rigorous routine, and you're probably definitely feeling it at this point. Our last one is a little bit more complex. This is a rotational movement. So using either a weighted ball, again, you don't have to have anything. We are using the weighted ball as a counter lever. So she's going to push the ball straight up in the air, and she's going to go into what's called a tabletop position again. So her knees and hips are at a 90-degree angle. She's going to slightly rotate her legs to one side as she brings her arms to the other in a slightly upward and diagonal motion. And then she's going to pull herself back to center and then repeat on the other side. Now she's going a pretty far distance. If you're just beginning with this, I'd say go very small amounts. So there, and come right back. And even if that's too far, reduce it even further. Even if it's just a little shift, you're working on that cross coordination of the abdominals, you're working the lats, You're also doing two things at once with the legs and arms. It's a great movement, definitely a challenging movement. So just do your best, and again, consult with your PT or trainer if you are attempting these. We're going to do a couple more here. You're doing awesome. Make sure you're breathing as usual. We're going to do one more each side. Excellent. Well, thank you for joining us for this higher level core training. We hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions or comments, please come see us, and we'd love to help you out. See you next time.